Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Special coverage of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli witnessing the launching of the Egypt's first startup charter during Rise Up summit at the Grand Egyptian Museum. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Wael Badawy, information technology expert, professor of artificial intelligence and entrepreneurship. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
How are you, sir? Dr. Badawy, how did you follow the speech by the Prime Minister today before the Startup Summit Charter and the main highlights and the main points that were said during his speech?
This speech was vital and pivot time because apparently when we have this kind of integration from the core captain, like it was not only the Prime Minister, it was the Minister, the other ministers as well supporting the same announcement. So this is it's important for us because this promote definitions and it demonstrates the responsibility of the government to govern and better support this kind of entrepreneurship and the startup companies. So this is one of, like, I don't believe there is so many countries will have such an announcement.
Yes. Actually, what give us an idea more about the conference and the charter itself, which is very important, the Startup Charter.
That Startup Charter, apparently, or as everybody will know, that in Egypt or in the MENA area, we don't have a clear definition for startup companies. And usually startup companies will be disadvantaged because they don't have experience, they don't have previous proven record for 2 to 3 years to go on bids. They cannot apply for so many large projects because the nature, it's a new establishment, it's a lower turnover amount of cash. So having a charter like that, the first thing and the most important part is to define what is a startup company. And once we define what is a startup company from legal perspective, then all benefits will come and say and talk about this particular entity and support the entity. We have been watching so many movement and so many orders to simplify taxes for startup companies. But we did not have a rigid definition. In this charter, they define it as a newly established company. They put some regulations and some limits around it, and they commit that the government will support these particular institutes or entities. And we will not be surprised that we have a specific, in the future, we'll have a specific percentage of contract or a specific provision in different public bids to go for startup companies. So this is a step into, like it's a real step to support this kind of initiatives. And as we know, majority of the startup company are youth and new graduates. So having this on with the Rise Up as well, it gave it the right propaganda and it was made in the right position, especially in the GEM, which is another unique features we have in Egypt, which will demonstrate how we can take care of our graduate and youth generation in our nation.
Yes, Dr. Badawy, during his speech before the conference, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli spoke about not only what we have reached until now in the field of small and medium enterprises and small projects and the support the Egyptian state is supporting for the youth. He also spoke about the future and the coming 5 years concerning this field and the financial support that is going to be provided by the Egyptian state.
Yes, and all of this will happen because there is a real definition by the government, adopted by the government, what is a startup company. So there are lots of programs. Before that, 2 months ago, there was a new regulation for taxes. There is, before that, our president have been issued directions to have a recognition of registration for the company as an individual. So the government have been taking lots of steps over the last year or more or less into trying to get into a model or trying to identify what is a startup company. These charters come in the right time because it will stage in the future policies that there is a room for new entity. So the entity is called, is not small and medium businesses, it's a startup company.
Yes.
So this is why this charter is a key. And as I say, like it's when it happened with an event like Rise Up, it demonstrates that our government is keen and is paved the way so the startup companies can evolve and can grow. And this also will help us getting external investment because investors want to come when they feel the government is protecting the startup companies.
Yes, of course. What are the main objectives of the summit, and why is it considered one of the important events in the Rise Up Summit, considered a leading entrepreneurship event in the whole region?
Rise Up Summit, this is the 13th cycle of it, and this year it has at least 100 plus serious investors. It has more than 400 talks. It has 4 stages, and I was chatting with individuals when we attended the first day and the second day that we would like to attend all the stages because all the talks are expressing a real experience. Youth and young generation, which is we estimate between 15,000 to 20,000 to attend over the 3 days, they were amazed to see CEOs of major companies in Egypt, the startup companies which get into exit or merger and acquisition. So they learn from real experience. And many of I talked to a friend early morning today, and he said, like, I learned lots of insights about how to build a business, what kind of mistakes I shouldn't do, why I shouldn't hire fast, what should I look in my new hiring, how I can manage my growth. Because these individuals on the stage, they always have this kind of lifetime experience. Also, we had a special stage which will talk about deep tech. And as we know right now, that we use AI, we use digital information, fintech or financial technology was huge as usual. Artificial intelligence startups are huge as usual in different phases. But we don't have the underlying technology. We have a special talk, a special forum on the first day, which is led by Dr. Maged Ghoneima on the deep tech investment. And the deep tech, it will be the next stage for our government to try to inject investment in it, because we need to build our own AI computers. We need to build our own communication towers. We need to build our own quantum platforms and our own sensing. So this is a unique place. You have more than, I believe, 100 countries engaged. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, I believe, one of the main supporters. So this is an international forum which again emphasizes that Egypt is the hub, at least for the discussion and potentially for investment and getting companies. So for our new graduate and our youth and whoever entrepreneurship in the ecosystem, they will get real-time experience from people who made a successful and massively successful journey in the startup companies.
Yes. Dr. Badawy, also addressing the conference, Dr. Rania Al-Mashat, Minister of Planning, said that also the cooperation that took place between the several ministries here in Egypt was also played a significant role. The coordination between the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Higher Education, also the Central Bank for financing the small and medium enterprises. All these things have shaped the successful of this initiative or this conference.
Yes, and Dr. Mashat is standing in an awesome, amazing position, because she was able to pull together a private public institution, and this kind of partnership is needed. Whenever we talk about the ecosystem, people will talk about where is the government role, where is the major, they call it the deep pocket, like these banks, central bank or the national bank with their different organization supporting a small and the medium-sized business. Now we call it startup business as well. This is the deep pocket which will get guarantees that we can get the youth to build the companies and take advantage of the regulators, of the funding, and even in the market. So this kind, and to be honest with you, when we looked at the pictures at the very beginning, we thought it's an actual ministry meeting. Is not, because there's almost all ministers were there. So this is just a very iconic event to happen, you know. So having a coordination between Ministry of Education, Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Youth, and Sport, these three ministries, this will guarantee that there is no overlap, there is no competition. All the efforts they put are integral into one objective. Having the finance coming from the different institutions, this also it's a must to get the governed by or control. Not, I don't want to call it control, but it is governed by the government position. So I would expect to see more startup companies, more graduation projects to be companies. We will see also lots of other innovators will come and try to formalize what the ideas they have in their mind, because they want to take advantage of the benefit of such a charter.
Yes, also, Dr. Badawy, the summit in its 13th edition held under the slogan, The Turning Point, which is a platform for the empowerment of emerging companies. Of course, if you could comment on the title or the slogan, Turning Point.
It's a turning point because Rise Up talk about growing. So how to rise with a company. So it's an actual turning point, because we didn't know about this particular announcement as of today for the charter. So having all of these big players and having the government support, this could be a turning economy. We have to understand that North America and Europe have been struggling a lot with their startup companies and new emerging companies, because the regulation over there are heavy. So getting into Egypt and having all of this acceleration, it's another way that we can build a strong economy. We have been watching over the last few years that the economy is not for the big companies. The economy is now coming, like more than 80% of employees are employed by small companies, and the small companies are less than 20% of the actual GDP. So having this kind of no turn, because basically you can build now, you have the road is paved, so you can build a much better, much bigger companies because of all of these events happening.
Yes. Also, why is the Rise Up Summit very important for building the strategic partnership and driving the business growth and economy of a state?
Because it's a forum. It's an international platform now, because we have lots of international speakers in it.
Yes.
So it's a forum. So when we talk about if you want to build a business, you need to talk to people when they are ready to listen to you, not to go to knock doors in their offices, because in their office he will manage his day-to-day business. So having a 3 days where everyone will take off of his old duties, and we will come for either looking to invest in a company looking for investment, someone is trying to showcase, someone is trying to find solution for issues they do have in their organization. This is the kind of environment where people will be willing to share and willing to listen. So having such an event, and continuing for the 13th year or the 13th cycle, it's demonstration that we need such events, and these events are a masterpiece or are an instrument that they can move the economy, and they can help the young generation how to build their emerging companies and how they can get into a real business.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Wael Badawy, Professor of Artificial Intelligence and Information Technology expert. We really had the pleasure to have this phone with you.